Students, welcome to the next class, that is 32nd class. We will continue this of organo copper, which is left from the previous video, organo copper reagent. Okay, so this was left from the previous video. We are continuing this. So today in the last video I think I had discussed with reaction with vinyl halide, vinyl halides. Okay, so this was the coupling of alkenyl bromide in the presence of butyl copper lithium. Next we'll go for continuation. So one more organo copper catalyst we are using is Lipschutz. Okay, Lipschutz reagent. That is nothing but your R2CuCnLi2. This is your Lipschutz reagent. Okay, so alkyl aryl will be there attached to the copper, and cyanide is here. So this is what important here. So cyanide is introduced into this Lipschutz reagent along with your metal, that is lithium. So reaction, you can see here that you take alkyl lithium and you treat this with this copper cyanide. So you are going to get your required reagent, that is your R2CuCnLi2. so this is how the Lipschutz reagent is synthesized. Okay, and you can see the reaction. If you want to go for this, so you take this molecule where you can see, in one case you can take it as bromide in upside, and here downside bonding you can take as hydrogen, and this is treated with your this compound CuCnLi2. Okay, in the presence of tetrahydrofuran and 0 degree centigrade. So you can see that your this compound is going to be the result, that your ethylene is going to be attacked here. Now whatever this front bond is there, which was bromide, is left, and you can see the front bond is been taken by this hydrogen, and the back bond is this ethyl is introduced into this. So that means you are seeing the inversion here. So there is there is a look of inversion here, a change of inversion, and which is having a high yield, which is giving a high yield of this compound here. So this type of so you can see here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 7 8. So it is nothing but 2 bromo, okay, octane. So this is the compound on treating with your Lipschutz reagent in the THF and 0 degree centigrade. So this inversion is going to take place. So this is how the Lipschutz reaction reagent, copper reagent, is useful in handling such reactants here. Now the next, if you see, so there is copper copper catalyzed asymmetric allylic alkylation. Okay, so copper catalyzed asymmetric alkylation. If you see this compound, acetate compound, having this allylic acetate. Okay, so this is a compound of allylic acetate. When you treat this with N-butyl magnesium iodide, that is your Grignard's reagent, in the presence of Et2 ether O in 0 degree centigrade, in the presence of copper, sulfur, arsenic. So this is the this is the catalyst here. So you are going to see that this is going to happen like this. Okay, and you are going to see here the back bond with N-butyl here. So this is your the terminal olefin is formed here. So you can see here terminal olefin is found here, and you can see this is a 100% selectivity, okay, is obtained here. So you can see that, and this copper, what is this copper catalyst, what is used is somewhat this way. So this is your phenyl, this is bonded with sulfur, then here copper, then NMe2 methyl, and you can see something like this. Okay, so this is the catalyst here, copper catalyst, that is USAR. So this catalyst is been reacted with this Grignard's reagent along with this allylic acetate compound. Okay, and you can see it is catalyzed, and you are going to see that the N-butyl is going to be backbone, is going to be attached in a back bond here, and terminal alkenes is formed here. So whatever here alkenes we are seeing here, so this part is been removed, and you can see a terminal alkene is obtained here. So this happens in the presence of your another copper catalyst. So this is what we are using is organocopper catalyst, which is catalyzing this allylic acetate type of molecules, that is unsaturated molecules, asymmetric olefinic alkylated molecules, to forming of the terminal alkenes. So this is what, okay, so this is one example you can give. So followed by one more is that is cationic coupling. Okay, so this is cationic coupling, one more reaction where the copper catalyst is used, organocopper cationic, CADDIOT, cationic CADIOT coupling. So where you can see the acetylide is treated with another acetyl compound R dash in the presence of copper bromide and triethylamine base. So you are going to get R C triple bond C triple bond C with R dash. So this is what I'm going to get the coupling product. That's why it's called cationic coupling here. And this also happens in organocopper reagent, that is copper bromide is taken in the base triethylamine, and you can see so this alkyne, this is a bromo alkyne compound, bromine is there, and this is alkyne compound, bromo alkyne reactant is taken along with the normal acetylene here, and you can see, and it is been refluxed here, treated with copper bromide and the base. So you are going to get the dialkyne product. Okay, and this is how this we call it as a cationic coupling here, where we can see the copper reagent is used. So this also you can keep in mind, okay, or you can note down this. Another is glacier coupling. Glacier, okay, GLACSER, glacier coupling, where you take 2 moles of your triple bond here. So this is what benzene ring. So this, when treated with copper chloride in the presence of ammonium hydroxide and alcohol ETOH, so you are going to see, so this is going to happen, copper is going to attach here, and further on oxygenation in the presence of alcohol NH4OH ammonium hydroxide, so you are going to get the product. I will write down here like this. This is also a coupling product here, so you are going to get like this. This is your product. You are going to, this is triple bond here, like this, like here how it is here, same thing here, like that is, it's also a coupling, glacier coupling. Okay, you can see the reagents here used. So these 2 moles of aryl acetylene what you are taking here, so in the presence of copper chloride ammonium and this, so you are going to get the copper here, which is instead of hydrogen substituted here, and now when you oxygenate this same with the procedure, you can see you are going, this 2 molecule, this 2 is going to couple, and you are going to get diaryl acetylene compound. This is what reaction we say, it's a glacier coupling reaction. Okay, so this is also you can keep in the mind. Next, if you go that one more reaction is Ullmann reaction. Okay, so Ullmann reaction also is a very much important reaction where copper reagent, organocopper reagent is used. Okay, so where you can see you take this compound trinitrochloro, so NO2 NO2, NO2. Okay, so this compound, and this is very much important here, iodobenzene, and when this treated with copper in 200 degrees centigrade, okay, so you can see that this compound is going to happen here. This is benzene, and this is NO2, NO2, and this is NO2. So this is this type of cross coupling, cross coupling reaction we can observe when 2,4,6 trinitrochloro plus iodobenzene, okay, so is treated in the copper in under 200 degrees centigrade. So cross coupling takes place where you can see the benzene is going to attach here. So this is what we are going to happen. So if you see here, so this is aryl iodide, aryl iodide. This when treated with the your ligand, okay, yeah, this one. So what will happen, or what we are taking here, that is your what is that, the reagent. So what will happen here, oxidative addition is going to takes place, and you can see that you are going to get CuI. So this is what this is going to react with here in the presence of copper. The first step, oxidative addition, is going to happen here. So where you are going to get Ar, and this copper is attached here to get CuI. The next step, if you see, the copper again it reacts with CuI to give CuI here, and you are going to get ArCu, that is your copper is attached to the benzene ring. This is what you are going to get. And further, if you see, again it is going to react with ARI. Again oxidative addition is going to happen, and you are going to get ArCuI, and here Ar, like this. Okay, so again it is going to attack like this, and you are going to get ArCuIAr. So this is what you are going to get. And finally reductive elimination. So again CuI is out, and you are going to get Ar and Ar, like this. Okay, so this is what you are going to get the final product as we have got it here. So like this, in some of the reactions it's very simple to understand the mechanism. So this is how you can go through in simple reaction, like in Heck reaction we have seen the mechanism. In all this reagent, one or the another mechanism you have seen, like palladium you have seen, copper we have seen, and even even the iron we have seen. So that mechanized type of reactions you keep in the mind, so that you can present that in the examination if they ask for 4 marks or 5 marks, like here. So this is very beautiful to explain and simple to understand here. So copper is treated here. So how it works, oxidative addition. So where this copper react with this iodine to form CuI intermediate, then again there will again the copper is going to act here in the cycle to remove this iodine CuI. Again this copper is going to attach for this ArCu. I is got rid of here. Now next is what, now here again it is going to, at this component is going to attack with another ARI here, and you can see you are going to get here. So I, the complex, you are going to get this ArCuI AR. So this is what very much important time we are going to get as an intermediate again. And finally you can see there is reductive elimination, where you can see that CuI is been removed here, and finally you are going to get AR and AR. Okay, so this is what we are going to get the product, like this. Okay, and these are the substituent, whatever the substituent you are using, it remains. So like this. Okay, this only is as I give best leaving group, it goes out, and remaining thing will be, this is a product. So this is how the Ullmann's reaction is worked out in the presence of copper, organocopper reagents. Okay, so one more reaction very important is Goldberg reaction. This also very much used, that where you can see you take this aryl amine complex, this amide complex, ARNHR amide complex, and when you treat this with Ar twice, so where X you can take chlorine, bromine, iodine, and when you treat with copper 1 as a catalyst in the presence of a base, you are going to get the substituted Ar, and here AR, you can name it as 1 and 2. This is a AR1, Ar2 like this. Okay, so you are going to get this compound. Okay, this is called carbon nitrogen cross coupling of amide, cross coupling of amide. Okay, and with aryl halide, amide with aryl halide. Okay, using copper. So that reaction we called as a Goldsberg's reaction. So you can see here the amide is there, so where you are going to treat with aryl halide. So this is what, in the presence of copper and base is important. So you are going to see that in nitrogen, so you are going to see along with this substituted R substituent, so you are going to see that Ar1 and Ar2 is attached here. So tertiary amine you are going to get here, yeah, and this carbon to nitrogen cross coupling of the amide and aryl halide using the copper catalyst. So this type of reaction we call it as a Goldsberg reaction. So this is also you can keep in the mind. Along with this, there is a Stephan coupling reaction. So this also takes place in the presence of acetylene type of this, that is where copper C triple bond C R dash treated with alkyl halide in the presence of pyridine. This is the reagent used for Stephan coupling here. So this is acetylene compound is there, alkyl halide and pyridine is important here. Already copper is we have taken here, so this acts itself as organo copper now, and you can see halide when it is treated. So you are going to see that CuX is out, and you are going to get R C triple bond C R dash. This compound is been coupled here. So this type of coupling we call Stephan's coupling, where the main reagent used is the solvent is pyridine along with this copper substituted acetylene compound here and alkyl halide. So this type of reaction we call it as a Stephan's coupling reaction. Okay, so this also you can keep in the mind. And if you see the most important organocopper reagent used is diphenyl lithium cuprate etherate dimer. Okay, so once again I will write diphenyl lithium cuprate etherate dimer. Okay, so this is what we are using. So it is just like this, you can take in this way, and here you can see there is copper having the negative charge, and along with this you are having this bond like this, where you are having the lithium plus charge here. Again you can see, so copper dimer it is, so it is like that, and you can see it is attached with like this. Okay, so this is a compound which is a reagent used as a diphenyl lithium cuprate etherate dimer. So this also is a very good what to say, the organo cuprate reagents dimer is used in some of the reactions. Okay, so this also you can keep in the mind. The first organocopper reagent, it was first synthesized by Rudolf Christian. Okay, so Rudolf Christian, if you see, the first organo copper reagent was synthesized by him in 1859. Okay, so it by treat which called as explosive acetylide. Okay, it's called as explosive acetylide by passing the acetylene acetylene in the presence of copper chloride in this way. So acetylene C2H2, so this was passed in CuCl copper chloride, so you are going to get CuC triple bond C Cu. This is very much important. The first organo copper synthesized in 1859 explosive acetylide. This is the Cu2 C2 which is a very explosive acetylide, so which was prepared by the Rudolf Christian plus 2 HCl. So this also you can mention in the short notes of the organo copper reagents. Later in 1991 you can see the organo copper reagent. 1991 organocopper reagent was synthesized by Stryker. This also is very much important. It is also called as Stryker reagent, also, which is nothing but PPH3 CuH used for reduction. So this is nothing but it is somewhat like this. This is PPH3, okay, triphenyl phosphine CuH. Okay, so this is how the organocopper Stryker's reagent stands for, and this reagent is very effective regioselective, very effective regioselective in reduction of various carbonyl compounds, in the reduction, because hydrogen is freely available, in reduction of various carbonyl compound, in reduction of various carbonyl compounds, okay, like aldehydes, ketone, etc. You take aldehydes, ketones, etc. So like this, so whatever the carbonyl compounds is in the organic chemistry, so if you want to reduce a reduction process, so in this case the Stryker's reagent, which was been synthesized in 1991, was been easily used here. So this is how I think I have taken most of the examples for organocopper. So whatever these possibilities there, along with the some of the required mechanism to show. So I hope that this is more than sufficient for any of the short notes asked in the examination. So like this, so copper very detailedly we have learned in the yesterday's slide, copper very detailedly, palladium very detailedly we have learned with some mechanism also in one or two case, and even iron as a startup slide we have learned this also in very detailed way with one or two examples with mechanism. So hopefully, so this part is very clear for the students if examination point of view. Along with this, so I hope I say that your unit 2 is 100% completed here. Okay, and now in the next this week, as I said in Zoom meeting, that next class will be on Wednesday and Friday. So I am going to discuss or solve some NET questions based on this unit 1 and unit 2. Okay, as I have discussed in Zoom meeting today, so this we will see on Wednesday and Friday. I will take some problems on net on this base unit 1 and unit 2, and we will struggle to solve that. Let's from your side also you prepare for both the units, so it is from your side you have to struggle to solve this, not myself. So you have to do, and let me see how you solve some of the net questions. Okay, so in the next week, so that from Monday we will go for unit 3. Thank you.